welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm doing another bake with me video and I'm so freaking excited. Today we will be making mochi muffins and I'm going to be talking about post-grad. So if you guys are interested in following along with the recipe, I will leave the link down below as well as all of my modifications that I'm going to make, and then I'm going to be just like talking about post-grad. I literally wrote down a whole bunch of stuff in my notebook for things that I want to cover. And then on Instagram and YouTube, I actually asked you guys if you had any specific questions or topics you wanted me to cover. So while the muffins are baking in the oven, I will be going through that. But I'm very excited. I've never made mochi muffins before, but every one of my friends who have used this recipe, so hopefully it goes well. First of all, I gotta put on the classic apron. Okay, I have all the ingredients out in front of me now. The only thing I'm substituting is, instead of unsalted butter, I'm using coconut oil instead. And then I'm also not using molasses. But, alright, let's get into it. Okay, so post-grad. First of all, congrats. You should be proud of yourself for this incredible accomplishment because it honestly is amazing. Like, so many years of education. And you did it. So definitely let yourself have this time to kind of chill and relax a little bit and spend some time with people you love and doing something that you want to do. That's the first thing. Just be proud of yourself. The second thing I want to talk about is that it's going to be weird for a couple of months. Because not only do we not have this set schedule for ourselves anymore, but everyone we know, all of our friends, are going to be in different places in their life and in different positions compared to us. Like, some might be starting a new job, some might be looking for jobs, some might be doing a gap year, some might be teaching abroad. Like, everyone all of a sudden, like after you graduate, is on a completely different journey than yours, which is completely okay. And it's just life and it's normal, but I think it's definitely something to keep in mind and remember. And because of that, definitely do not compare yourself to your friends and to other people, because that is so easy to do. We are all just trying to figure it out. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is making a plan. So first of all, read The Defining Decade if you haven't already. It's this book by Meg J. She is basically talking about all of the things that happen in our 20s and things we should look out for. And it's very relatable, so I would definitely recommend reading it. By having a plan, I don't mean like know what you're gonna do in 5 years, know like what you want in life, know your future career. You don't have to necessarily know, what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, but at this point we know what we like and we know what we don't like. We know what we're good at so far in life and we know what we're not good at. I think what you should do is make a plan. Think about what you like and think about what you would want to do in the future. It doesn't have to be forever, but just in general, like in the near future, what would you want to be doing? And then start taking action towards that path. For example, if you've always wanted to be a photographer and like a freelance photographer or even a photographer at a magazine or something, this is the time where you can explore that and you can start just create a website, start reaching out to people to do shoots. And just because you start doing this doesn't mean that being a photographer or like pursuing this little business of yours is going to be a forever thing. It's just a step towards something. If it's not something you want to do long term, like that's great. That's something new that you've learned about yourself, and that's some new information that you can now take and move on and try and pursue something else. And the main point of this is just basically like, you don't have to have your life figured out right now, but you shouldn't be treading water either. Like, you shouldn't be stuck in one position trying to figure out like which direction you want to go to. Honestly, just go towards one direction and then you'll figure it out when you get there. If you want to continue on that path, if you want to go somewhere else, if you want to like go wherever, because I know that's something I experienced, just this like almost choice decision paralysis thing where I am passionate about so many different things. I want to pursue so many different types of jobs that I didn't know what to do. But going into one direction is better than just being stuck and just looking at all of your options. Okay, so I'm also done with this, and I have like 4 other things I want to talk about. So I'm gonna pop these into the oven, but this is the batter. Does it look right, you guys? I can't tell if it's like too runny. We'll see. The next thing I wanted to talk about was friendships. Guys, it is a very different territory once you go post-grad because, you know, everyone has a completely different schedule, and it's definitely a lot harder to keep up with friendships and stuff. So my advice and 2 cents on this is that, first of all, I think both parties should definitely be actively trying to maintain your relationship. It cannot be a one-way street. FaceTime, Skype is the best. Honestly, I'm not sure what I would do without them. And you don't even have to set aside like 2 hours in a day to talk to someone. It can literally be just like a little check-in at some point during the day, making sure that you're maintaining that friendship and keeping up with each other is really nice. And then the other thing is that, what did I see here? Oh, when I first started going full-time, it was very hard for me to maintain my social life because, first of all, I am an introvert. And so after working all day, the last thing I want to do is like go out even more and talk to more people. I realized how important that is at the same time for my mental health. And so I will typically try and set up a kind of dinner or something with a friend at least once a week. And that helps a lot with my mental health and happiness. And then the next topic is making new friends. So I actually didn't move anywhere, and I went to UCI, which is pretty close to my hometown still. So a lot of my friends in college and high school and middle school and elementary school are still really close to me. So I'm really lucky that I'm able to have those friendships still. So I'm not sure, you know, how it would be if I were to actually move out of this city. The majority of my friends who maybe have moved, a lot of the friends that they make are friends from work. But the other thing that I use pretty often to make new friendships and meet new people is actually Instagram and social media. So, I mean, I love using Instagram to meet new people. I think it's really easy to kind of see what you have in common and then start conversations from there. Another really good one is actually social events from communities that you're a part of. So, for example, Outdoor Voices does a lot of like outdoor events and activities that people just in your city can go to. I think that's a great option. Another one is like A Rare Day, which is an event hosted by Jen Im. There are a bunch of podcasts that do live events. I think those are great places to meet new people because you all have something in common already. And so it's really easy to just spark up a conversation. Another one is just talk to people if they're cool. Like, I think I've gotten more comfortable with talking to strangers. And so, like, for example, my friend and I were at an Everlane store in LA the other day, and we just became friends with one of the Everlane stylists, one of the people that was helping us, and she was just so nice and was so helpful the entire time, and I was just like, I want to be your friend. So I just went up to her to thank her, and then we followed each other on Instagram, and we have each other's numbers, and we're friends now. And also just keep in mind that people are nice. Okay, this next topic I am so passionate about, and that is money. Save it, use it, grow it. It is definitely very different once you're post-grad. So my first tip is if you get a full-time job and you have a 401k and your employer matches it, make sure you match it. So what that means is that, you know, you put in a certain percentage of your paycheck into your 401k, which is a like retirement savings account. So you put in like, I don't know, 5% of your paycheck into that 401k. So sometimes a lot of the times actually employers will match whatever amount you put in to your account. But there is a max, so like a company might only match up to like 3%, for example. So that means that what you should be doing is when you're filling out your form and all that stuff, you should be putting in 3% of your paycheck, because then your company is also going to give you 3%. So if 3% is like $200, they're also going to give you $200. So it's basically free money. The second tip is, if you are not fully employed yet, you can still start a retirement fund. Before I was fully employed, before I had a 401k, I actually started a Roth IRA. And the reason why I started a Roth IRA instead of a normal IRA account is because the Roth IRA is actually taxed already or something like that. Like whatever money you put in, that's going to be the money that you take out, compared to the other one where when you take it out, you're also going to be taxed on it, so you're actually getting less money when you pull it out. So anyway, for that one, the max that you can put in every year is $6,000, depending on your income bracket. And then with that money, you can invest in stocks or index funds, which is my other tip. When you're investing, I personally like to do as little risk as possible. I know a lot of people like to play around with stocks and stuff. I personally would like to just put my money in somewhere and then just leave it alone. So if you're also like that, then you should definitely look into index funds. Also, I'm not giving like actual approved certified financial advice, by the way. This is just like my personal advice and what I've been doing. So I just want to put that out there. So yes, an index fund is great, because what an index fund is it's like, for example, like S&P 500. Under S&P 500 is like all of these different stocks in the stock market. So like all these individual stocks can like rise and fall and whatever. And then S&P 500 is like the overall one. So like on average, how these are doing all combined, you know, is like how well the S&P will do. And so the growth is a lot slower, but typically the market does not lose, and so the market, like, it will still grow even if it's slow. I personally like to put my money in that because I don't want to think about it. But if you want to think about it, you can also think about it, and there's a bunch of different stocks that you can invest in. There's a bunch of websites and apps that can also help you with that as well. Honestly, I wish I did this earlier. I'm so mad at myself for not doing it earlier. But put your money in a high yield savings account. So what that means is, when you have your money in a regular bank account like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever it is, you only get back what, like 0.03% or something super minuscule and small. And so every single month you only get back like an extra like 1 cent or something. But there are these high yield savings accounts that what they do is, I think they like take your money and put it into different savings accounts from different banks so that you have a higher percentage rate. Right now in particular, the market is not doing so hot, so the APY actually dropped a ton. But a couple months ago, my APY was at like 1.8%. So I was getting back 1.8% of what I had in my savings account, which is way more than I've ever gotten like 5 years in like a Wells Fargo account. That just is also free money, and your money can just grow without you having to touch it. Also, I'm very excited and like interested in stuff like this. So if you guys want me to make a whole money finance related video, comment down below. So the muffins are here. I'm not sure if they're gonna turn out well, if I'm being honest. They look really cute though. Look at that. I put some of the black sesame seeds and roasted white sesame seeds on top. But yeah, look how wiggly it is though. I honestly don't know if this is gonna go well. But I'm gonna pop these in the oven now at 350 degrees for 55 to 65 minutes. And then I will answer some questions. So I'm there.
Dude, I look different from last time. Stop it or no?
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so the ovens are in the microwave, the oven. The muffins are in the oven now. I really hope they turn out well, but we're gonna get right into the questions. So like I mentioned earlier, I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me if you had any specific questions you wanted me to talk about. So the first one is, how did you make friends in your work environment / new city if you moved? I did not move. I'm really lucky to be able to work so close to home, and I actually went to school pretty close to home, so a lot of my friends are still in the area. But I think with things like my friends at work, like with all friendships, it takes time. When you're in an environment with people that you're basically, you spend more time honestly with your friends and your peers at work compared to like your own family, because you're at work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. How I am right now and how my relationships are with my friends at work right now compared to like last April when I first started is so drastically different, but it's totally normal. So I think just like give yourself time, but also I think going on things like coffee chats, coffee dates can never really be a wrong option to do. And then the second one is, did you consider grad school, and if so, how did you weigh the pros and cons against a full-time job? So I definitely did consider grad school, and I'm honestly still considering it. I honestly really love school. I love learning, and I love like the structure of it. I love going to classes, meeting new people, taking tests and like presentations. And like, yes, at the moment I did not love it, but looking back on it, I honestly did really enjoy the whole experience of school. So that's the main thing. The other thing I considered was money. Like, is this something that I want to invest in right now, and is it going to pay off? So I know for me personally, I was like, yes, I want an MBA, but I don't think I need one to get to the career or the jobs that I want at this time. If that changes, then typically, hopefully, the company that I work for will pay for me to go and get my MBA. Next question is, what factors matter most to you when looking for internships / jobs? The first thing I think about is whether or not the position feels right for me, and whether the responsibilities seem to be things that I'm either interested in doing, interested in learning about, or is something that I'm already really passionate about. I think that's really important. Another thing to consider is also the company itself. So whether or not you think that this company is somewhere that you'd want to grow in, and you'd want to grow with. And on that same note, just like company culture in general, I think, like I mentioned earlier, you're spending so much time with people at work that if you don't get along with people, if it's not your type of vibe, then you're probably not gonna have the best time there. How do you balance traveling with work? I honestly haven't done any, I haven't taken time off for travel officially yet since I've gone full time because, you know, of our current coronavirus situation. But before this all happened, really the only places that I really traveled to so far since I've been working full time has been San Francisco, just because my best friend lives there. And so I'll try and put it towards like the end of a week. And so I'll typically fly out on like a Friday, and then I'll come back on Sunday or Monday. And when I go on Friday, I will go on like a 6 a.m. flight. I'll get there at 8:30, and then I'll meet up with my friend, and we'll meet up at like 9 a.m. and she also has work too. So I'll actually just work remotely and work that full day, so I don't have to take a day off. And then I'm like in the city for the weekend before I come back. And then other than that, when I do international trips, what I've been trying to do is plan it towards the tail end of a week. Okay, next question. She says, hi Shirley, I'm currently doing an undergrad that focuses both on business and design, and I was wondering how I can find an internship that combines both of them together since I'm very passionate about both. Thank you, and I hope you come across my question. Stay safe and hope you're doing well. You too. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. If you have any companies or brands in mind that you really admire, if you have any specific design agencies, design companies that you really like, I think if you go into the career pages of those, there should be something in that realm for you. So whether it's in a brand that is like a design internship, or if it's a design agency and a design company, but you're like a business intern or you're a marketing intern or something like that. I think either finding something that is like business in the realm of design or design in the realm of business would be a really great step to think about what about business do you like and what about design do you like and what about the two that you want to pursue when combined together. Like, what is this internship going to do for you, and like what do you want to grow more of? Because I think like if you're doing, for example, a business internship in a design company, design agency, and you figure out that like, oh, this isn't what I want to do, I'd much rather do, you know, the design part of it, then that could be something that you could pursue also. Or even looking into advertising agencies and looking into design advertising agencies or business companies that are working specifically in design. And I think other than Google, LinkedIn is a really great resource. Just looking up, you know, people from companies that you really admire, and if there's someone out there actually that has the certain, like the specific job title or position that you really want, I would suggest connecting with them on LinkedIn, shooting them a message, asking them to do an informational interview, asking them like how they got to where they are, if they like it, how do they choose, what internships did they do, stuff like that. I think LinkedIn is honestly such a great resource for stuff like that, and especially also just in general finding jobs. Next question is, why didn't you take a gap year after college? I know myself, and I think I knew that I would go crazy if I were to do a gap year. If I were to do a gap year, I think I would need a plan. I would either need to be like, okay, I'm gonna pursue YouTube this whole year and then see where it goes, or I'm gonna travel, or I'm gonna teach abroad or something. I think for me personally, I really want to just learn a bunch and just get as much experience as I can. The next question is, how did you know your internship was right for you? I wasn't sure if it was going to be something that I wanted to pursue or if it was something that I wanted to do long term, but that's the thing, like that's the point of an internship. The point of internships are to have you, you know, figure out if this is the career path that you want to go towards, if this is what you want to pursue. The next question is from Shyla. Hello. She said, would you ever go back to college to pursue a higher education? And I'm sorry, I totally just should have included this one with my previous one. But yes, I would consider it. Okay, my last question is from Reba X Sheath. And they said, not a post-grad question, but how'd you cope with the stress of scoring well and getting into your desired university? Okay, let me just take myself back to high school and that time. Do not take it personally if you don't get into a certain university or a college. There are so many different factors that go into that, like acceptance and rejection situation that we don't even know about. It's definitely a very stressful time. Like I remember that time very well, but I think just don't be too hard on yourself because you have grinded and tried and worked so hard all this time, and so whatever college accepts you is going to be great, and whatever you choose is going to be great because you are also in control of whatever and like however much you put in at that school. And also you can always try and transfer out of that school and apply to a different school that you think you'll like more. What's your advice today?
Just know that like sometimes you might think it's the university for you, but like, you know, sometimes that you try to like work your way towards like, oh, I have to get into like Columbia or something. Mm-hmm. But then like you work really hard and like you don't even get in, and you're like, oh, it's like, oh, I worked so hard, but it's like it doesn't really matter like where you go, because as long as you kind of like take advantage of whatever opportunities you have in wherever you are, then like. And that's, guys.
Preach, dude.
That's all you need to know.
What he said.
I didn't get into UCLA, but I went to USC.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, all right, those are the last of the questions. The muffins are almost done. They kind of like poofed up and then they kind of sank back down. But I have 13 minutes left. I set it for an hour, and I think I'm gonna check it in like 5 minutes. So I'll check back with you guys then. muffins. You cannot see them because of the angle I'm at, but I actually ended up with around 16 instead of the 12 that the recipe said it would yield. So I have some last ones in the oven, but I honestly am so excited. Like, I just want to try one right now. Here it is. It is a little tiny one. There's some sesame seeds on top. Okay. Also very spongy. Can you guys tell? Guys, I think I did it. I can't, okay, the thing with mochi is I can't tell if it's underbaked or if it's good. But this is the inside. Wow, look at that. And it's very squishy and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like this or if it's undercooked, but let's give it a try. It smells so good, by the way. It smells a lot like hojicha or like sesame. So, wait, you guys, this is so good. Oh my god, I love it. It's so good. Oh my god. But with that, this is the end of today's video and today's bake with me. It is a lot longer than my first one just because I did it kind of like in a certain topic and theme. So let me know what you guys thought of it this time around, but definitely try these. It's also, by the way, these mochi muffins was like the easiest cleanup I've ever done. It was like 2 bowls and a couple of little teaspoon and tablespoon things, and then just like the muffin tins. Super easy cleanup, but oh my gosh, definitely try this recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe because I have new videos every single Sunday, and hit the post notification bell, which is one of these sides. And feel free to follow me on Instagram at ClassifiedCloset as well. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!